We, as learners, universally suffer from this problem. We study one subject, revise a bit, do some questions on this, and then we need to study some other subject. So we do that. After a while, we forget both of these. Takes all the fun out of learning, doesn't it? Well, with this learning technique, you will never forget and you will do so much more than just memorizing. I think you're gonna relate with this one. We think that if we repeatedly practice something, it's bound to go into your memory. It's true, but it's true for short-term memory. Simply repeating something strengthens the neural connection for that information in your brain. However, if you don't revisit that information later, those connections weaken and you're more likely to forget it. We need to learn to be patient with learning because our brain takes time to consolidate information. And it does so best with spaced revisions. On this note, spaced revision is a learning technique that involves reviewing material over spaced interval of time. Instead of cramming information all at once, spaced revision spreads out study sessions over time, allowing for better retention and long-term memory formation. Spaced revision was first discovered by Hermann Ebbinghaus around the 1880s, almost 140 years back. In his studies, he memorized list of nonsensical syllables and then tested his recall at various intervals. By systematically measuring the rate at which he forgot these syllables over time, Ebbinghaus revealed a consistent pattern. Forgetting occurs most rapidly immediately after learning, with the rate of forgetting gradually slowing down over time. His findings revolutionized our understanding of memory, demonstrating that forgetting is simply not a random process but follows a predictable trajectory. And one of Ebbinghaus's key insights was the concept of spaced revision, which he employed in his own experiments. He observed that spacing out study sessions over time, rather than massing them together, led to more effective learning and longer-lasting memory retention. This finding laid the foundation for spaced repetition technique, which has since become a widely used strategy for enhancing memory. Let's see why it helps us. Spaced revision enhances memory retention through the phenomena known as the spacing effect, which has been extensively studied in cognitive psychology. And the effect has been demonstrated in over 200 research studies over the past century. Every time we recall a memory, our brain activates specific neural pathways associated with that memory and creates even stronger pathways if done through active recall. It's akin to forging a well-worn path in brain's neural network. It's like walking on that path over and over again and making the connection stronger and more robust. We often have to juggle multiple subjects, and sometimes we tend to prioritize one subject over another and might even forget to revise the topic we spent so many hours encoding. Spaced repetition can be a powerful tool here. The well-worn pathways or the neural connections of one topic weaken if not revised. But with spaced revision, your study plans are all laid out and you know exactly when to revise next. When you are mixing and studying multiple subjects, with each having its own spaced revision routine, in addition to creating strong neural pathways, there's a really interesting thing happening on the background. The neural connections of the subject you are trying to study are also connecting with the pre-existing patterns that are spread throughout many areas of the brain. You never know, among these, you might just see a really interesting connection that no human being has ever thought of pop up. So, be patient with your learning. When you're first exposed to the information, you understand a bit of it. You might not grasp the concept well or might not even understand what the big picture is. But with every revision and study session, you start to really understand it and the big picture starts getting clearer and clearer. And don't worry if you're forgetting a little in between. A little forgetting is good for us. As harder the brain tries, the better connections it forms. And spaced revision is optimized for you to make the best out of your learning, as every revision session is planned according to your brain's synaptic consolidation, allowing for the gradual strengthening of neural connections associated with the learned information. Wow, spaced revision is exactly what I need. But how do I keep track of it for every topic and use it for my studies? Well, here's a really simple solution for it. You can go to the website of Spaced Revision, log in, create subject, chapter and topics under it. Add your questions and your answer. This might take a bit of time, so do it when you're actively recalling it. And the next day while revising, you're employing the method of active recall as well. If you understand it well, click on Perfect. This topic now has its own spaced revision graph automatically calculated for you. It's as easy as this. And each topic may have its own spaced revision card depending on how well you remember and how well you forget it. With this, you're employing two of the best learning methods according to science: active recall and spaced revision. I'm betting this is going to revolutionize the way you study and beat any competition there is. All the best. This is the third video on the study tips series. See if you can answer some of these questions after watching the video. And this is called the reflection technique of learning, which is a part of active recall. I'll talk more about these interesting learning techniques on our upcoming videos. Stay tuned.